Welcome to a sunny and warm Knockhill racing circuit for the second round of the classic Scottish Sports and Saloons. Race 1 is about to get started. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through all the action.
Thanks very much, Joe. Tommy Gilmartin starts on pole position. Andrew Graham is alongside. Row 2, Raymond Boyd and Alastair Coates. Then John Kinman and Bruce Mitchell. Alex Montgomery with Jimmy Crowe behind them. The fifth row comprises Scott Brennan and Ian Blacklin. Row 6, Max Horn in the Escort, William Conway in the Mini. Then it's Ollie Ross and Alastair Bapty, Michael Longstaff and Harry Simpson on row 8. Harry Simpson sadly not joining us, but we do have an impressive lineup. It's an increase in numbers, substantial increase over our first round of the year in April. It's great to see the MG Midget of Michael Longstaff at the back of the grid. Alastair Bapty ahead of him, along with Ollie Ross in the yellow Fiesta. Bapty in the Fiat X19. The lights are out, and it's an all-Class E front row that gets away well, as expected perhaps. Tommy Gilmartin makes a lovely start. So too does Raymond Boyd from third on the grid. A welcome return to the defending champion, double champion Raymond Boyd, back with us this weekend. A Class D pole, a great start for him up into second position now, ahead of the TR8 of Andrew Graham. Then we've got the Shelby Cobra of Alastair Coates, the third of the Class E cars, but very eclectic mix. Championship leader, incidentally, is the Class A man, Alastair Bapty. 14-point lead for Bapty ahead of Bruce Mitchell in the Lotus Europa. Maybe talk about that as we go through. Scott Brennan is here running in the guest class in the Ford Mustang. I think Ford probably the best represented, Mark. You can see the Capri immediately in front of Ian Blacklin. Ian, the other runner in Class D, so effectively the competition for Raymond Boyd. But statistically, as Boyd now gets involved with the Shelby Cobra up into second place, we'll come back to the statistics in a minute, because Raymond Boyd wants third position back, having lost out to Andrew Graham in the TR8, that second position. Boyd significantly, of course, still on the overall podium, still the class leader, but the Class E Shelby Cobra. The Cobra will want to get past the Porsche and maybe get stuck into the TR8 and the Morgan. If you count up the number of marks represented, the TR8 was getting stuck in there, looking pretty handy at the moment. Andrew Graham, and challenging for the lead. In terms of qualifying, Tommy Gilmartin 1.4 seconds clear of Andrew Graham, so one might have expected Tommy to streak away in the early stages. A little bit of a job to know where to look at the moment. It's close for the lead, probably closer for this third place. So again, Coates looks around the outside line. I thought he might maybe dip back in and go on the inside, but Raymond Boyd's got that covered at the moment. Double champion Raymond Boyd still there, but here comes the Shelby. In behind, of course, we've got John Kinman in the 3.5 litre Rover. Great to see John back with us as well. So really good effort by all the drivers in the Scottish Classics Championship. Now we'll go back to the statistics as John Kinman close in on. We've got 11 different marks represented here, and they've outdone the current Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship, who only, he says tongue-in-cheek, had 10 different marks represented. But it's very diverse, the racing that you get here. It's almost like a mini motor show or a mini revival here, certainly with the amount of manufacturers we've got represented on track. Outside line again for Alastair Coates. Is he going to make this stick this time? No, he's not, but he has left the door open for John Kinman to come through. I think Kinman might have had a little bit more grunt out of the corner, but the way was blocked by Raymond Boyd. Well, not blocked, it was Raymond was just there, not blocking at all. The Porsche and the Shelby Cobra managed to pull clear of the Rover. Raymond Boyd's going to have a look down the inside line. Is there room there? They do like to race these cars. You won't see perhaps as much cut and thrust as we would have in the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup, but then you wouldn't expect it, because we have to afford an amount of respect for these cars. It's some serious amounts of money on track here, but nonetheless the drivers do race them. There wouldn't be much point in leaving these cars polished in the garage. They like to get out, bring them in front of the race fans here at Knockhill Circuit and give us a race to watch. Boyd losing out a little bit now. The Shelby Cobra starting to pull away. Still got Andrew Graham running in second place, and Tommy Gilmartin in the Morgan out front. Tommy Gilmartin himself, like Raymond Boyd, a former champion, was outright champion in 2013. Class champion last year, had some great battles with Harry Simpson. You might remember the unfortunate incident during race 1 last time out when Harry and Tommy had a coming together with Harry's car worryingly going sideways into the pit lane, but good that Harry was back. Not good that the car hasn't made it to the grid, but let's hope that things will be settled for our 4th of June round. So things starting to settle down a bit with Tommy Gilmartin still out front, and the driver to watch as well is the yellow Lotus Europa. That's a Class B machine, so from the smaller engine class, the 1500cc to 2.5 litre category, the Lotus Europa, second in the championship, as we mentioned, jointly in actual fact with Ian Blacklin. He's on 36 points. Callum McRae, who's not racing with us this weekend, and Michael Longstaff, joint second in the championship, and second in Class A to Alistair Baptiste, the Class A runner who leads the championship after perfect scores at round number 1. Look at the sideways moment we get on there from the Rover. Absolutely no doubt at all that John Kinmond is chasing hard. The only thing is, of course, they do say if you're going sideways, you're not going forward, so maybe losing a little bit of ground, but enjoying the car. And to my mind, that just shows the commitment of John Kinmond trying to close up on the Class D Porsche of Raymond Boyd. Ian Blacklin took the 2 class wins for Class D at round number 1 in his 3 litre Ford Capri. Well, things settling down quite nicely in this first race of the weekend. Tommy Gilmartin looking for a Class E win. One of the things that you'll probably notice, that although we don't have drop scores in this championship, there's Ian Blacklin. Ian, the class leader, joint second in the championship overall, and moves clear and allows Tommy Gilmartin to go through. Although we don't have drop scores in this championship, it's likely that if you miss a round, if the class is well supported, there's the opportunity to claw some of those points back over the course of the year. Well, on to the last lap here at Knockhill Circuit for race number 1 of the year. Max Horn you saw in the wonderful red and gold Escort Mark 1, but it's Tommy Gilmartin out front. We have sadly lost John Kinmond and Andrew Graham, so Tommy Gilmartin 7 seconds clear now of the Shelby Cobra of Alistair Coates, and it's going to be a return to the top step of the podium for Tommy Gilmartin. He makes a habit of this, does our Tommy. Thrills the crowds with his driving, and he's going to please his team there with the checkered flag. Tommy Gilmartin wins round 3 of the championship. Alistair Coates is running in second. There is Alistair. Raymond Boyd is going to grab a Class D win, and 3rd position, an overall podium for him. Across the line next goes Max Horn. William Conway in Class A, second in Class A for William Conway in the Mini. That Class won by Alistair Baptiste, but here's the result. Gilmartin, Coates, Boyd, Bruce Mitchell, 4th from Alex Montgomery and Jimmy Crow. Crow second in Class B. Alistair Baptiste next from Scott Brennan, Max Horn, William Conway, Ollie Ross, Ian Blacklin and Michael Longstaff.
Tommy, well done. Another win. Harry Simpson not here to play with you this week. It gives you some time to cool off after that incident in round 1 that we saw. First of all, going back to that incident, that was a lucky escape.
Very lucky. I think Harry now realises himself. He did, in all fairness to him, he came and apologised to me yesterday. He said he watched himself. He didn't realise how far over he'd come on me. And I've accepted his apology. We're all here to race, and it's all a bit of fun. And I'm actually sorry that he's not out, but there you go. That's one of these things. I think the damage from last week has possibly caused part of Harry's problem this week. Because he did get a real serious thump, But,
I passed him as I was coming to work. I was a wee bit late, and I actually passed him going down the road, and I thought, oh, something's happened here. But it is always a shame to miss him, because you guys give us some great racing. Without him, it's a bit of a lonely drive.
It's a bit easier, but yeah, we've had great racing over the years, and I'm sure we will again in the future. Harry's a seasoned pro, and he'll be back, no doubt about it.
Looking forward to it. Well done.
Thank you.
Raymond, well done. A third place, but again, a class win. It's a good result and some beautiful conditions for driving that lovely big car.
Yeah, no, a fantastic day. Again, great support, I think, for the SMRC this weekend. Yeah, a really good race this time. Got a good start. Andrew's new car seems to be really fast because he eventually got me up the straight. And they had a really good 3-lap tussle with that brand new Shelby, which is absolutely stunning. And then it was just a matter of keeping John off my tail after that. So I've got a few modifications going on for some stuff that will happen later in the year, so I'm just getting used to the car at the moment. But no, great conditions, car was great, and happy to get this result.
Well done.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Classic Sports and Saloons race number 2, and again the sun continues to shine. It's almost perfect conditions, and on pole position is Tommy Gilmartin giving us the thumbs up. He doesn't have his friend Harry Simpson here this weekend and he's missing him. I'm going to hand it to Richard and he'll take us through the second race of the day.
Thanks very much, Joe. Ideal conditions for racing. Tommy Gilmartin starting on pole from Alistair Coates. Raymond Boyd is third on the grid from Bruce Mitchell, and then Alex Montgomery and Jimmy Crow. Alistair Bapty on row 4 with Scott Brennan, followed by Max Horn and William Conway. Then Ollie Ross, Ian Blacklin, Michael Longstaff, Andrew Graham, John Kinmond and Harry Simpson scheduled to start, but sadly the 3 retirees from race 1, or non-starter Harry Simpson, 2 retirees, John Kinmond, Andrew Graham, William Conway also not starting. That's a pity that we're missing the Mini. It brings Class A down to 2 starters. Away we go. Very well anticipated by Tommy Gilmartin. Slightly better than Alistair Coates. Coates at the moment down to 3rd. Good start by Raymond Boyd. Jimmy Crow getting in the mix as well. Jimmy Crow in the Mark 1 Ford Escort, last year's Class B champion. It was Class C champion the 2 years prior to that. Of course, we don't have a Class C anymore. We go from A, B to D. Class A up to 1500 cc's, a 1501 to 2.5 litres Class B, and then Class D now 2.5 to 3.6 litre. On board with Scott Brennan in the Ford Mustang. Scott, a guest driver, but would, if he registers for the Championship, be in Class E. So it is Tommy Gilmartin in the Morgan leading. The Porsche of Raymond Boyd down the inside line of the Shelby of Alistair Coates. Boyd at the moment keeping Coates from getting stuck into Tommy Gilmartin out front. So Boyd will want to take an overall win for sure. He'll enjoy his race into class racing, and I've said it many times, it's the wonderful thing about multi-class racing is that you do get an opportunity if you're ahead of compatriots in class, as Raymond Boyd is, ahead of Ian Blacklin in the Capri. And of course we probably expect that. It means that Raymond gets the opportunity to dice with the cars from different classes, in this case Class E, which will again pick up maximum points here. So Tommy Gilmartin, having missed the first round of the year, if the other classes have less numbers in, he'll be able to claw some of those points back and have a shot at maybe reclaiming the overall title, which he won, as we said, in race 1, won it back in 2013. So a regular runner. Gilmartin in race number 1, taking the fastest lap, a 58.117. So he'll probably have the target to try and beat that in this race. The main thing, of course, is to take the race win. He'll look at his own times over the course of the meeting. There's Alistair Bapty, the Class A Championship, outright Championship leader, ahead of the Ford Capri of Ian Blacklin. So Bapty, who picked up 2nd place overall in both races in April with 2 class wins, was 7th overall in race 1 here and a 3rd class win. That will extend the championship lead. However, I think with just the 2 starters in Class A, because we've got Michael Longstaff in the MG Midget, having lost William Conway as a starter, it does reduce the number of points for the championship. But I think that Alistair Bapty, if he finishes this race, will maintain the championship lead heading off to our June meeting. Tommy Gilmartin still in the lead. Not so much a battle at the moment for 2nd place, but watch the Shelby Cobra very neatly out of the corner, and will use the 4.7 litre engine to try and get on terms with the Porsche. Jimmy Crow busy dicing there at the moment with Bruce Mitchell. Crow and Mitchell, in fact, of course, racing for Class B honours. Then in the mix we've got the MGB GT of Alex Montgomery. Alex running third in Class B at the moment, gets the tail out. There are the two Class B runners immediately behind. So it is the Lotus Europa holding sway at the moment over Jimmy Crowe. Jimmy will be probably pleased to have some competition. He won't like to see that competition 3 or 4 lengths in front. But the Lotus having a little nibble at the back end of the MG and goes off. So Mitchell, that's a very worrying thing to see with the barriers looming, because these are wonderful examples of the cars. It's Alistair Baptiste, look at him up and racing here with Jimmy Crowe. That Fiat X19, super looking car and running well. Raymond Boyd loses second position again. Alistair Coates back into second. Raymond Boyd though still leading the class, remember. The Ford Capri of Ian Blacklin second, and Boyd knows that he can get that car around the corners a little bit more effectively than the Shelby Cobra, and goes back. Great move down on the inside line into Scotsman Corner. And what you're seeing here between Alistair Coates and Raymond Boyd is clean, fair, respectful racing. They both understand what their cars are capable of doing in relation to each other. So that racing will continue. It's a little bit like watching Harry Simpson normally and Tommy Gilmartin. I say normally because obviously that's without the incident that happened last time. And probably enough said about that, but great that they've shaken hands by the sound of it and are ready to race again, hopefully at June. They were ready to race today, but Harry having a few problems. So we could have been watching Harry Simpson, Tommy Gilmartin, but we're watching instead, immediately behind and not far away from Tommy Gilmartin, this wonderful battle for second position, and the Cobra goes back in front. Raymond Boyd will again try and put the Porsche through into the lead, because the other Porsche driver who's won the championship twice, Stan Bernard. So Porsche 911, a good car to have for the Classics Championship, but as I say, we don't see hordes of them. It's the championship not like that. It's very much a diverse mix of cars and marques that we see. Alex Montgomery in 4th place and on board with Raymond Boyd again. Raymond might have a look down into the hairpin. He's a fair way back here. Closes in slightly, will climb uphill. Closes in again on the exit. The back end just coming round a little bit on the second place car for Alistair Coates. We go back, Jimmy Crowe. Jimmy in 5th place. 6th position is Alistair Baptiste in the X19. So Class A car hounding the Class B machine. Just look at the way that X19's holding the road there. It almost looks on rails, driven by Alistair Baptiste coming out of the hairpin. And Baptiste leading Class A, Michael Longstaff second in Class A. So we've got Tommy Gilmartin leading, and past there is the MG Midget being passed, the second place Class A car, now being passed by Alistair Coates, who's managed to pull away from Raymond Boyd. In the mix as well there, you saw a flash of yellow in behind Michael Longstaff, which is Ollie Ross, the lone Class F racer. F following on obviously from Class E as a new class, but F for future classics effectively. Cars built between the 1st of January 1980 and the 31st of December 1985, up to 3.5 litres, because obviously there will be less and less cars available, and it's good to have new cars eligible for this championship, or slightly newer cars eligible for the championship. Tommy Gilmartin still out front. Tommy with fastest lap again. Not as quick as race number 1. 59.3 in this one. It was a 58.17, a 56 second lap in qualifying, just a shade under the 57 bracket in qualifying. His next car to lap is going to be the Ford Escort Mark 1 of Max Horn, who's running in 3rd position in Class B. So Max looking to pick up some useful points here, and another immaculate car, as you can see from that livery. But it does look like it's going to be a double for Tommy Gilmartin. Last lap board going out now. Blue flags to the back markers. I suspect the back markers probably haven't needed those. They've all looked in the mirrors and seen what's going on. Max Horn, though, I think is going to take 3rd place in Class B. So it's Tommy Gilmartin leading outright and Class E. Raymond Boyd leading Class D. Class B led at the moment by Jimmy Crow from Bruce Mitchell. The A-class runner and leader is Alistair Bapty, and the lone Class F runner still running is Ollie Ross, just to give you a summary of the class winners. But, or as they stand at the moment, of course, we should say, Alistair Coates not that far behind, and Alistair's best lap of 59.37, so 0.07 of a second slower on the best lap than Tommy Gilmartin. Not that far behind him really in terms of quickest lap. That Gilmartin it is that will come through and take the win. He's down at the hairpin for the last time. We'll begin the climb up towards the checkered flag, and Tommy Gilmartin is going to be absolutely delighted with his racing this weekend. There's the checker. Gilmartin wins round 4 of the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Championship with Alistair Coates second. Raymond Boyd Class D win takes third position. Fourth is going to go to Alex Montgomery, who is lapping Ollie Ross. Ollie, of course, a driver who's won many titles here in Scotland. Ollie Ross finishes in 12th place overall. There he is. Next is going to be Jimmy Crow. It's a big fight coming up the hill. Jimmy Crow is there, and in the escort takes it. Alistair Bapty side by side with Bruce Mitchell, who just got the better of Alistair. The Lotus recovering from that moment off the circuit earlier on to finish in 6th place, and second position in Class B behind Jimmy Crow. Here's confirmation of the result. Gilmartin from Coates and Boyd, Alex Montgomery in 4th from Jimmy Crow, Bruce Mitchell, Alistair Bapty 7th, and then it was Scott Brennan, Ian Blacklin, Max Horn, Michael Longstaff and Ollie Ross.
Alistair, welcome back to the podium. It's been a while since I've seen you here.
Thanks very much. No, it was great fun. Spun the wheels up at the start. There was smoke everywhere. Escort almost got past me, but got back past the Porsche and had a great race. It's really, really good.
Seriously nice weather for driving as well.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Car was set up really well. Classic Racing Cars down in Stafford did a great job. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic. Great to be here at Knockhill in the sunshine. Very unusual.
Enjoy it while you can. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
Raymond, well done. Welcome back. You enjoyed the first one. Looks like you've enjoyed the second one as well.
The second one was a bit better. He didn't get that far away this time, but he still got the power. But there's been a wee tune up in the back. The car's starting to come back to where it used to be, so that's good. A wee bit more power. Yeah, great racing again at Knockhill. I think really good for the classics to have a really good eventless weekend this time, and it's great for British Motorsport. Thanks to SWR, to Faye, my partner, for looking after me, and Anthony, my mechanic, and see you next time.
Well done, well said.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Jimmy,
well done. Third place, an exciting race apparently.
It was a very exciting race. One of the best races I've ever had in my 10 years experience. Yokohama don't sponsor us anymore because they don't do the same tyres, so I had to use hard tyres on my outside and soft tyres on my inside, but it worked well. It worked well in the end.
And the results paid off, obviously.
Yeah, it was great. Great race, great fun, no damage, love it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, that brings today's racing from the Classic Sports and Saloons to a close, but what a fantastic weekend for everybody, including Tommy Gilmartin, with those 2 overall wins. Make sure you tune in next time for more action.